Good morning, class 10th. So, yesterday I told you about photosynthesis. I gave some overview of the photosynthesis. What are the things which are required for this process? And basically, we have discussed the reaction also. And I told you what are the necessary conditions which are required for the photosynthesis. And now today I'll discuss the photosynthesis in a detailed manner. Basically, chlorophyll is present in the leaves, as I told you, structure you know, and water is absorbed by the roots. And when the water is present here, stomata which absorb carbon dioxide and chlorophyll which absorbs the sunlight, these combine together, they produce they produce glucose. Okay, they produce glucose, and this glucose is stored in the plant in the form of starch. It is another form of carbohydrate. Glucose is a carbohydrate and starch is also a kind of carbohydrate. So this glucose gets converted into starch and it is stored in the leaves or in other parts of the plant in the form of fruits or grains. And in this reaction in this reaction oxygen also evolves, and which is given off by the stomatal pore. Okay, so this is overall reaction of the photosynthesis. Now this reaction is not completed in only one step. Actually, this reaction is carried out in two steps, and these two steps are known as light reaction and dark reaction. Light reaction means it occurs in the presence of sunlight. During the daytime, the light reaction is carried out, and in this reaction the chlorophyll molecules actually absorb the sunlight, and they convert energy, this solar energy, into chemicals and a chemical energy which is known as ATP and NADPH. It is now you know what is the full form of ATP and NADPH. Okay, you can tell me in the class discussion. And once these energy molecules or this light energy is converted into chemical energy, these chemicals are used during the night time when the sunlight is not available. These chemicals are used to fix the carbon dioxide which is being taken up by the stomata. This carbon dioxide, by using these chemicals, it gets converted into glucose. Okay. So this occurs in the dark reaction. Okay, light reaction is basically both the reactions occur in the chloroplast, but light reactions occur in the thylakoid membranes, while the dark reaction occurs in the stroma. Stroma is basically the fluid present in the chloroplast. So this is the basic difference between light and dark reaction. In light reaction, thylakoids means thylakoid which contain chlorophyll, they get activated and they form energy giving molecules. In dark reaction, no light is required, only the chemicals are used to fix the carbon dioxide of the atmosphere, and it is carried out in the stroma part of the chloroplast. Structure you know very well. Now let us see what happens in the light reaction. And this is basically light reaction. This reaction is in your course, so that is why I'm telling you this in detail. Dark reaction, I'll give you one overview of that also. If in any case this reaction comes, then you can see. Okay, so here you see there, first of all, there are two photosystem 1 and photosystem 2. Okay, this photosystem 1 takes the light of 700 millimicron, Okay, and this photosystem 1 gets activated at 680 millimicron of wavelength of the light. Okay, so basically these there is a difference. And what is photosystem? You see there is these thylakoids which are present in the chloroplast. If we zoom it, this one structure is known as thylakoid. Okay, in this thylakoid membrane there are found many chlorophyll molecules are present. Okay, so these chlorophyll molecule basically these absorb the sunlight and these form the photosystems. Okay, basically photosystem is the one in which the reaction is being initiated. So this reaction is initiated by the chlorophyll molecule which is present in the thylakoid membrane, and these absorb the light. Means if we are talking about photosystem 2, so it is absorbing the light of 700 millimicron. Okay, so this when the chlorophyll molecule absorbs the sunlight, what happens? First of all, the water molecules which are coming from the root, this come these are present in the stroma of the chloroplast. So this water molecule, when it absorbs the sunlight or the photons, it gets split into these structures. Okay, basically this is formed, and plus electron. Okay, so this is the reaction in which, let me write it in a straight line because you will not be able to understand it like this. So what is happening here? When the sunlight is falling on the chlorophyll molecule, the water is, it splits into H plus ion, that is hydrogen ion, oxygen is released, and electron is also electron also, it is also released. So this reaction is carried out in the thylakoid, and this reaction is known as photolysis of water. Photolysis means to split any molecule in the presence of sunlight. So like this system, this photosystem 1 gets the electron from here. Okay, so this electron is like it is coming to the photosystem 1, and once the electron is in this system, it absorbs the sunlight, it gets excited, it reaches to its highest level of the energy. Due to high energy, it gets excited and it donates its energy to the primary acceptor. Okay, so these are basically some of the substances present in the membrane to which the energy is actually transported. So like this electron transports its energy to different substances present in there, and this which you are seeing here, this layer, this line, this conversion of the energy, this means passing on of electrons from here to here, this is known as electron transport chain. Okay, electron transport chain. So when the electron gets excited, it is accepted by the primary acceptor, and then this primary acceptor passes on its electron, this energy, to the other substances, like some intermediate substances are like plastoquinone. Okay, plastoquinone, and here it is one intermediate molecule is formed here, this is known as cytochrome b6 complex is formed, then phytosinin okay, plastocyanin. So this basically this electron, this energy is passing on to different kind of the substances, and when this conversion is carried out, one substance is formed here, that is ADP combines with the that one more phosphorus is added here, and it forms ATP. So during the electron transport chain, what happens, ATP is formed, one molecule of ATP is formed during this conversion. This when the electrons are passing their energy to other substances, one ATP energy is formed here, okay. Then when the electron is donating its energy to other substances, then it reaches to the photosystem 1. Now this photosystem 1 is again some chlorophyll molecules are present here, which actually absorb the electron energy. This photon energy is actually transported here, they accept it. This photosystem 1 now becomes the acceptor of the energy, and once the energy is accepted by this photosystem 1, again this electron goes to its excited state, okay. Again it becomes excited, it reaches to its higher energy level. Now this electron passes its energy to again some of the primary acceptors are here, and here the primary acceptor is let me write it again, ferredoxin. Ferredoxin, okay. So this is the actually this is the final acceptor of the photonic energy or the electron which has passed its energy to this primary acceptor, that is known as ferredoxin. And in presence of ferredoxin, again this reaction is carried out, again in the presence of that ATP is formed. This goes like this, and this ferredoxin then transfers its electron, this energy, to the ADP reductase, okay. This is an enzyme which is present in the thylakoid, and by accepting this electron which are present here, and plus H plus was formed by proton. This proton was formed by the splitting of water. So this hydrogen atom comes here, this is utilized, actually it is utilized here, and this NADP is converted into NADPH, that is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide phosphate reductive. It is in the form of reducive agent, okay. So when H is added to anything, it is known as a reducing agent. So this NADPH or this will be used in the reduction of the carbon dioxide to the glucose, okay. In later half you will see that this compound and this compound is used actually in the dark reaction when the glucose is formed, okay. So this is overall light reaction in which first of all light energy is absorbed by the photosystem 2. This electron passes its energy to primary acceptor, then to different kind of the substances, then finally the energy is transported to the photosystem 1, which when absorbs the light, again it reaches to the higher level, then it passes its energy to the final acceptor, that is ferredoxin. This ferredoxin forms a substance which is known as NADP reductase. This acts as an enzyme for the conversion of NADP plus to NADPH, that is reducive form of NADP. So these two substances, then again these will be formed and it will be used in the dark reaction. Let us see overall reaction of that is dark and light reaction, because dark reaction is not in your course, so I am giving you overview only. So this is you see this is chloroplast and these are the thylakoid, okay. Light reaction is carried out here. When light reaction is carried out, oxygen is liberated, Okay, and in this reaction water is used. When the water is when the water is used, it splits to release the hydrogen ion and electrons, and these electrons and hydrogen ions are actually used to produce ATP and NADPH. And when these NADPH and ATP are present here, they come to the stroma part of the chloroplast. Now in this stroma part, this reaction is carried out, which is known as Calvin cycle. Okay, this dark reaction is also known as Calvin cycle, in which ATP and NADP are used to convert carbon dioxide, which is coming from the air. This carbon dioxide is used by using this energy molecules. This carbon dioxide is converted to glucose or the sugars. In this energy, means this in this Calvin cycle, again when these are broken down, these will be broken down to form NADP plus and ADP plus P. Okay, so this is a reversible reaction actually. ATP will be converted to ADP plus P, and NADPH, which was formed here, once this glucose is formed, it will again be converted into NADP plus, which will be used here in the light reaction. So basically light reaction is occurring in the presence of sunlight, and dark reaction is occurring in the dark only. There is no need of sunlight. Here in the light reaction, only these substances, these chemicals are formed. Means basically light energy or the solar energy is converted into chemical energy, and during the dark reaction, basically these chemical energy is converted to produce usable form of chemicals, that is sugars. Okay, these are formed. We cannot use ATP and NADP present here. We need some food, and food will be only manufactured when these molecules are used to produce glucose. Okay, so this is basically the overall reaction of the photosynthesis. Now let us see what are the factors which affect the process of photosynthesis. Okay, the photosynthesis is, as I asked you this question also, that what are the factors which affect the photosynthesis. So you see here that these are the factors which affect the photosynthesis. Mainly these are the three factors, that is light intensity, carbon dioxide level, and temperature. Some more is there. Water is required. Water is basically required for the two purposes, that is photolysis is going on, and that produces electrons and protons. For that water is required, and water is also required for the cell. Means mostly the cytoplasm of the cell is made up of water. So basically water is basically required for the maintenance of the cell. Okay, maintenance of the cellular contents. Basically these are the three important things which affect the rate of photosynthesis. Let us see what will happen. Here is the graph of all these three factors. You see first one, light intensity, which is basically light intensity is the amount of light which is absorbed by the chlorophyll. So when light, you see this is the on this in this graph we have plotted photosynthesis, rate of photosynthesis here in the x-axis, in the y-axis, and it is in the x-axis. So see, when the light intensity is increased, you see there will be increase of the rate of photosynthesis. But if the light intensity is going to increase furthermore, then the rate of photosynthesis will become stable only. Means it will neither decrease nor it will increase up to certain amount of certain amount of light is required. If we increase more amount of light, there will be no increase or decrease on the rate of photosynthesis. It will become stable, constant. Okay, then you see carbon dioxide concentration. Basically two things are happening here. If you are increasing the level of carbon dioxide, Then up to certain time it will be beneficial for the plants. Then later on the rate of photosynthesis will become constant. There will be no change in the rate of photosynthesis. And one more thing, more amount of carbon dioxide also damages the cells of the plants, so it is not very good for the plants. Higher concentration of carbon dioxide is not good for the plant growth. Okay, then you see the temperature. Okay, see here, if you are increasing the temperature, then it will increase of mean at up to certain time, up to certain temperature it will increase. Then if you will increase the temperature, it will have no effect, it will have a negative effect on the photosynthesis, means the rate of photosynthesis will become slow down, it will be decreased. Let us discuss this in detail now. See here. Okay, why it happens? Basically the enzymes which are present, we have discussed that NADP reductase is there, ferredoxin and these chemicals. ठीक, whatever the enzymes are present there, those enzymes actually function on a certain temperature. You can see example, it is given 37 is the minimum temperature at which all the enzymes actually can carry out the reaction of photosynthesis. But if we increase the temperature from 37 to 30 or 40 degree or more higher temperature, then what will happen? The activity of the enzymes will be decreased. Okay, so the enzyme will become denatured means sorry, these will be deactivated, these enzymes will not be able to function properly, and in this manner there will be a decrease in the rate of photosynthesis. So as we increase the temperature from 37 to 40, then 50 or and more and more, then as we increase the temperature more and more, the rate of photosynthesis will also be decreased. So this is, now it is clear to you what are the factors which are affecting the photosynthesis, and this is how our this topic is completed, that is autotrophic nutrition which is present in the plants. And from next turn I'll tell you the detailed version of the digestion, basically the digestion in the human beings, basically the nutrition in the human beings we will discuss in our next session. So till then you have homework to do. If you have any query, you can ask in the class. Thank you.